Wow, it looks like we have seen it. The first official upset of 2020. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Listen, let's talk about it. Switching of the guards, unified champion Julian Jrock Williams was just stopped in a surprising upset, based on the odds makers at home in Philly. So that's the first major real boxing upset. Listen, I don't really get shocked in boxing. Anything can happen. There's a lot of skillful guys, and people want what you have. Some people are going to say Joe Smith Jr. versus Jesse Hart, but to me that wasn't a big upset to me. Joe Smith Jr. It's actually similar fights, but I think Jrock is. They're both from Philly, him and Jesse Hart, but I think Jrock is fundamentally more sound and stuff, and I tend to like his game plans better in general. And this particular fight, not so much with his game plan. And I want to talk about it. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. I was doing live tweets, so make sure you guys follow me at BOXINGEGO and BOXINGEGO1 on Instagram. Twitter is just BOXINGEGO, right? And I'm gonna go over some of my tweets that'll help me channel my thoughts. I said this before the fight. Jrock don't get enough credit for his conduct in interviews and his skills in the ring. I like what Jrock was doing. I said the fight was heating up. Skillful start for Jrock in round 1. Great fundamentals and jab, good volume. I gave round 1 to Jrock. I think he had a very good pace and he was letting his hands go. Round 2, that's where things began to get chippy, right? Danny Garcia, they talked to him in between the rounds. He says he wants Errol Spence or Pacquiao, a Philly fighter, support another Philly fighter. So round 2, heating up. Rosario opened up a cut, which clearly bothered Jrock. Williams kept pawing at it and then he got aggressive, and Rosario stung Jrock with some good combos late. So that was really a round for Rosario, and I think this was kind of the beginning of the end. I told y'all, y'all gotta follow me when I'm doing the round by rounds. I don't know everything in boxing, but I do my best to analyze what I've seen. And another comment that I put was that right here, you see 7:15. This is immediately after round 1. I told you, listen, Rosario must have some real power because it looks like Jrock's face is reddening from the first round. So this was before the second round, predictive, which now become predictive text from me. I made this. I said, Rosario, this is right, during round 2, right after round 2. Rosario looks big and lean. This is a good fight so far. And I says, Rosario seems cold. He's like the Terminator, good poker face, and he keeps coming. So I started looking in round 2. I'm like, okay, I'm starting to see what's the game plan is. And my bro, Icy, shout out to Icy, shooter extraordinaire. He says, bro, he is gigantic. And he also had mentioned this, tweeted this to me. Look, I retweeted it. He says, is it just me or Rosario big as hell? The guy looked big, lean, in shape, good length arms and stuff. And look at all my tweets. I said Rosario trying to mess up the bag. This is round 2. This is right during round 2, before round 3 or anything. Rosario landed some serious right hands right on the cut. I meant to put hands, but autocorrect. Right on the cut of Jrock. That's one thing. He was landing good shots. And the thing that was impressing me about Rosario is that he was countering. He was landing counter shots, which shows me that it's not just a mindless brawler based on the fact that he's countering. Here's what.
1 minute, 37 seconds in round number 5. Our referee in charge, Benji Esteves, stops the contest. He is the winner by way of technical knockout. He is the new WBA and IBF super welterweight champion of the world, JESION Banana Rosario. Rosario near tears, if not fully weeping right now. He said, I've come here to fight the best, and he was superb tonight.
Wow. So, you know, excuse me. I noticed Rosario was landing serious right hands, and he was pretty well placed, you know, and he was landing it right on the cut, further making that cut worse. And on the other side of his face, like I said, after round one, I noticed Jrock, he had reddening on the other side of the face. You know, in between the rounds, they said it was scar tissue from previous fights, but it looked like the guy was landing some pretty accurate shots and heavy-handed. Look at my comments. Rosario countering impressively. Jrock was breathing a bit heavy the first half of this fight. Could be interesting. Very chippy first rounds. Clearly the best fight on this card already. And I said I gotta love boxing. That was not a good sign when I seen Jrock with reddening on one side, cuts on the other side. And when I sent this was during the fourth round, like as it was coming to a close. I'm like, oh man, round 4, he's already breathing pretty heavy. It's a hometown fight. So in my opinion, I think it just wasn't his night, you know, being in front of a hometown crowd. People don't understand. Like my guy, Andre Ward, people were saying, why they keep having him fight in Oakland? You don't understand the pressures that come with that. Fighting at home, it's not just a lovable thing where it's just fans. You might have enemies in the crowd, fans, family in the crowd, and people you don't want to disappoint. So sometimes people fight for the crowd. I seen Oscar Valdez fought in Arizona one time, and he got dropped by the Filipino dude Top Rank had, and it just wasn't his best work. So there's a lot of pressure with fighting at home. On top of that, I'm not making any excuses. I think the adrenaline from getting cut, having a hometown crowd, and then just the game plan that Jrock came out with, look, and then by here I'm saying upset. So, you know, round 5, he landed some shots, really rung Jrock's bell, and then he jumped right on top of him, started trying to maul him, and land heavy shots, and then it culminated in Jrock getting pushed down. So the referee rightfully ruled it a push, but it was a push in the middle of Jrock being really badly hurt from punches, and you know, trying to get the guy, you know, Jrock was trying to clinch him and stuff. And the Rosario dude, like I said, he was big, he was strong, he looked physically strong. He wasn't having it, so he was like trying to wrestle and get him off, and then it ended and culminated in Jrock getting pushed down. But it looked like a knockdown was coming. So Jrock was able to buy some time with that particular sequence. And some people are going to argue about the stoppage. Was it fair and stuff? It definitely was fair, because what I noticed, said Rosario has done it. Jason Rosario TKOs Julian Williams round 5 and stuns the Philadelphia crowd to become world champion. What I noticed was, after getting pushed down, which was rightfully, it wasn't a technical knockdown or whatever, but after getting pushed down, he was very slow to get up. He was on all four, kind of like, you know, the Kaepernick pose or whatever, and he looked like he was buying time, which is a smart veteran move. But the referee, Benji Esteves, is observing this behavior, and although it's kind of a subtle veteran trick to buy yourself time, it wasn't a good look, because Jason Rosario was clearly fresh. Jrock was looking wilted, and he jumped right off. Like, you know, the ref gave him all this time. He bought some time with that move, and then Rosario just resumed where he had left off, and he jumped on top of Jrock, and he landed some rights. He landed, when Julian Williams was on the ropes, he landed a sneaky ass uppercut and just dug that in. And then you see Jrock's head, and you'll see it on the pictures in his video. You see his head go up like that, and it looked like his eyes, like, you know, like he's on a roller coaster, like his eyes kind of rolled in the back of his head. So he was clearly like getting separated from his senses. And then I think he landed a couple more punches, and he was like languishing on the ropes. Looked like he might slide down, but the ref had already kind of braced his body against the ropes and waved it off. Perfectly fair stoppage. You know, love Jrock. You know, I was very impressed with what I seen from him with Hurd, But I think ultimately the Hurd fight and maybe the hometown crowd, I think that didn't play into his hands, because he almost fought Rosario. Look, bow. He almost fought Rosario like Hurd, but this wasn't just a big dude, because technically Rosario was doing some things to me a lot smoother and a lot more channeled. Like he was countering. He was landing uppercuts and shooting uppercuts and countering with rights. So this guy was big with power, like I told you in them early tweets, you know, and per his record, I think he had 13 fights and 10 stoppages in a row. So it was really a bad strategy for me for Jrock, who, you know, he had the Charlo loss, had been stopped there, he kind of got in panic mode almost. And with the cut and the crowd and adrenaline and blood, this is why this stuff is like crucial. And you got to really celebrate the Floyd Mayweathers of the world, because that's boxing at the highest level. Same thing happened with a more noted, better resume Maidana in the Floyd Mayweather Maidana 1. Rest in peace to Rafael Guzman, Rafael Garcia, excuse me. Mayweather had a bad cut, and that's not the person you want to get cut with. A guy like Maidana who's chopping with punches you can't see, stuff like that. But Floyd knew how to control it. I think Jrock, especially coming off of what he did versus Hurd, he stayed in kind of the mindset of let's trade and bang it out. And I don't think that was a good look for this particular opponent, because this guy seemed to be more technically. You would have to mix it up and almost catch him off guard a little bit more. Really good fight though. You know, it made Jrock's a warrior. He's a tough Philly guy, so he'll be back and stuff like that. But I don't think that was the right game plan for this guy. This is not like Jarrett Hurd, where you just want to slug it out with. Oh, hold on, let me pause it. You don't want to just slug it out with this dude. You know, he's not. He was doing stuff. See, look, you can see he's like hurt. He was like more precise. You see Jrock's face, you can see that he was hurt, and this was in the 5th round. He was landing some really good rights, some sneaky stuff. See, that's the sequence. You know, obviously I can't play for copyright reasons. And then he was very slow to get up. This is what I was talking about. Slow to get up. And you see how he's like off balance. Like it just picture going on a merry-go-round. Oh, like fat, you know, real fast on a merry-go-round or something like that. You're going to be dizzy. And that's what happens when you get hit and your brain shifts and stuff like that, and you're getting rocked and wobbled and stuff. You're dizzy, and you could tell his equilibrium's off, because he's planted on the ground, feet planted, and he's trying to get up, and he's almost swaying. That's why people say it's like being drunk or something, you know. And look at, I'm not gonna do this because I can't play the clip, but watch how many seconds. If you rewatch it, they have it posted on Fox, PBC on Fox, Twitter. Just count how many seconds this lasts, you know. And then right after, see, he's like, get up. And then he gets to he's slow to get up. And then the dude just jumps on him and lands look at that uppercut. You know what I'm saying? And it rocks his head. You just can't get bopped up with punches like that. Look at the people in the crowd. Everyone's just looking up like that, like, because they see him. This is a fair stoppage, people, you know. So Rosario came in with the upset and messed up the bag. And shit, I mean, we could still watch Hurd versus Jrock, but it's not going to be for belts anymore. So I don't know. I don't know what happens now. I don't know if they rematch just because, you know, Hurd didn't beat Jrock. Maybe that's his kryptonite. But imagine Hurd and this dude, Rosario. Man, PBC got us on lock, because they got Erickson Lubin. Put Erickson Lubin in there. He wants a title shot. Put him in with this dude. Rosario, he was fighting like he Margarito or Terminator or something. There's a lot of good fight. Put Jermell Charlo. Man, this PBC got some work right now at 54. Put Jermell Charlo. I mean, why? Why not? You see the performance. I mean, he knocked out a champion at home. Doesn't really get. That's Errol Spence versus Kell Brook. It don't really get more. You don't win a title really much more emphatic than that. You know, knocking the guy out and doing it in the guy's backyard. I mean, he deserves another big fight. Shout out to Rosario. Shout out to Jrock. Very good fight. Fox got that. PBC got that. 54 is booming. Adeslandi Lara, he's a more technical guy than a lot of guys. So, bro, I would want to see. He'll make you fight. Adeslandi Lara gonna have to fight this dude. The dude look big. He's young. I mean, he look young. You know, there's some good fights at 54. Man, smash the like button. If you love what I'm doing, smash the like button. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next videos. Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.